welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk 218. As per usual, Willie's hot, so he deserves a like and a subscribe.
Fucking right.
If you can't tell, he's in Florida. As per usual, go and visit our friends over at Skinny Play. Links I'll pop in the chat. And if you buy any 2 products, you get 10% off. And if you don't feel like doing that, you can use a promo code for 10% off a single product. Links and discount code in chat. And you can pick a bunch of stuff or do custom, obviously. And is there anything else? I don't think so. Oh, yeah. If you feel like having your question guaranteed answered, a super chat guarantees an answer to your question and or topic. And if they do something silly, then we may not have an answer, but we can still try.
Yeah, I don't know how cognitive I'll be. I'll be fucking dying over here. Mine was plus 35 here, or whatever it is. It's terrible. I'm not complaining, but just saying.
Oh, yeah. Also, join our Discord.
Do that.
It's good fun and crazy shenanigans, and you'll be the first to see weird nonsense B&O does.
Oh, Christ. Fuck, I almost put the car in a wall when I saw that on the way here.
Yeah, but before we start on that, how was your trip all the way down south?
It was great. It was absolutely great. I've done it in 5 days. There was one hiccup, which was after I crossed the border. I was sweating the fucking COVID nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give a fuck. The problem that I had was, for some reason, my car decided that it's not going to take on gas. Fuck off, I'm not taking gas. And lo and behold, well, I stayed in, fuck is the place in Montana? Grass Falls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck. Am I vertical? Because you're like smaller on mine.
No, you look normal.
Sounds fucking wonky here. There we go. Anyways, so I did 5 days. 5 days. I made it in. There we go. I'm gonna change view. Sorry, guys. It's something fucked up with this computer here.
Willie's on location, reporting from the hot.
Reporting live from frickin' Florida, bros.
Well, Miami to be specific.
That's right.
I mean, are those oranges behind you on that? Or is that flower?
That's flowers.
It looks flowers. Like wow.
Yeah. What the hell is happening? Go back. So yeah, it was a pretty good trip. I had a good time. I saw one fucked up accident. A semi truck versus a pickup truck. Pickup truck lost severely.
Mm-hmm.
Feels bad for the people, because I don't know, like, they got fucking hurt for sure.
Yeah, they're also generally ladder chassis, so they tend to fold.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't fold. It just, like, it ripped out the whole side. Like, it was a mess. Thank God it was on the other side of the highway, so my ignorance to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck if it rains as long as it's not on my backyard. So.
But did you get the car fixed?
So the next morning I wake up and I'm like, well, fuck. Okay, so what I did, I stayed in Falls, the Great Falls or whatever, and because I brought my toolbox and had a couple of HDMI cables, not HDMI, Cat 7s. So I took a meter length of a Cat 7, cut it, took the sheeting out of it, throw out the cable, basically fucking put it in the tank and just blew into the tank to aerate it and get the air out. It took me fucking 3.5 hours to fix it, to fill up the tank from half. And then the next morning, fine, car started, no problem, everything worked, right? I drove to another gas station like it never fucking happened. I don't understand.
Maybe it's just crud, terrible gas with bits in it.
Something. Let me
Yeah,
grab my other lighter here. It's I don't know, like I can't explain it, but it definitely kind of fucking made me contemplate, like, do I turn around and go back, or do I continue? How the fuck am I gonna fill up the car, right? Like, you can't really drive without the gas. And yeah, it just fixed itself, and yeah, so I went. I stayed. Uh, Actually, I gotta compliment Americans on how they drive.
better than Canadians.
Holy fuck, dude! When it comes to like highway etiquette,
Yeah.
like Canadians are fucking disaster, an absolute disaster. Like just clueless to, like, oblivious that there's somebody behind. You know, usually you got the chicks with the rear view mirrors pointing at them because they don't need to see what's behind. They need to see their lashes and shit if they're done right, right? So
Uh huh.
so that was that, and then that was that all the way till Kansas, and after Kansas, fucking wheels fell off the etiquette completely, dude. Like, there's fucking nobody giving a shit. Um, Made it all the way to Alabama, yeah, and best ribs I've ever had, dude. Honestly, like, I don't know if it's the inbreeding in there or something that they do, but it's just they know how to cook this shit proper, bro. Like, it was mwah, good. And then yeah, I spent the night in Tallahassee. I was finally officially in Florida, and now I'm here. And tomorrow I'm gonna go. I was gonna actually broadcast from in front of the B&O store, but the sun is directly above us right now, and there is zero shade because I went and, like you saw, went took a picture of it, and yeah, it was a pretty good trip. I can't believe I didn't get tickets.
Why
To
did
be
you
honest.
speed that much? I
Oh fuck, dude.
mean, but
All that.
everybody does. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. No, I hold some ass. So what the hell is going on with this fucking computer, man?
Just
Okay.
leave it. It'll be fine.
Well, there it is. So yeah, it was very, very hot. It's still hot. It's gonna be hot. It's not gonna change. Oh, this is something that I've never seen in my entire life. The torrential downpours here, they don't fuck around.
No, that's Florida. It rains for like a
Holy
short
Christ,
while
dude.
and it like fucking plunges and then it's done.
I went through Jacksonville. That's where I got hit first. And it's just like it's like and all of a sudden just fucking skyrockets and ramps up all the way to the point where there's so much water on the windshield that it doesn't matter if the wipers are on max or not all on at all, because it just cannot keep up wiping, and you just have to pull over. And then the second one I got stuck on, it was Fort Lauderdale, before I or after that orange place that I
Yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah. Orange Harbor, I
and
think it's
yeah,
called.
Orange Harbor. So before I got to Orange Harbor, we got hit again. But coming up further, it must have been really heavy because I didn't go our way, like down the highway, but there was a fucking 30-car pileup on the other side of the road from the rain. Like, I thought, fucking, like, rain, really, like in rain, bro. Like, I understand fucking winter where you can't stop. Like, you
Yeah.
have a choice. Like, you went full retard and zero visibility. That's on you. Like, if you catch black ice and shit, like, you're fucked. Like, that's not something that you can see or foresee. So
Peter has a question. Hey, probably not the time to ask. Well, it's all, if you can
it's
ask,
always
always
the time
ask
to
it.
ask.
We can always come
That's
back
right.
to it. It's kind of. I'm about to buy 18s plus a 19. I'm wondering if Wysa SoundSend will work properly with them versus the Core. The Core should work well, but doesn't have Wysa.
Hmm.
The Wysa SoundSend should work, but it depends on a different manufacturer at that point. I've
Yeah.
heard mostly good things about it. Some uh, weirdness where if the channel wasn't allocated, it would shut off. In 2.1, I don't think that's necessarily an issue, because almost everything is that. Uh, Yeah,
You might have
try,
an interference problems. Depends where you live too, right? Like
yeah.
yourself might be. You can't have Wi-Fi because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, if you have a heck of a lot of 5 gigahertz networks around, then Wi-Fi itself as a technology can be somewhat,
Problematic.
yeah, because those speakers back there are too far from the TV for me, and it's because there's like, I don't know, 40, 50 odd networks around within range.
Routers.
Yeah, so I can't also ask all my neighbors to shut it off because they won't, and they won't
Just
know
go
how
around
to.
knocking on the doors. Can you guys switch a channel? What do you mean?
Yes.
Like
uh,
on no, on your router.
but if you have any source nearby, you should be able to get a cable from Sounds Heavenly from Steve, and just
Mm.
wire it in if it's either a source or a TV.
Yeah, don't get the RJ45 power links from B&O, dude. I mean, the power link cables, those 3 mil thin ones,
Mm.
because they are shit. Connection wise, they're absolute garbage. What I found. I don't know if it's the PCB boards or.
Steve is having a weekend again, but you can also email him.
Oh, there's my dad. He fucking forgot
Yeah,
my
just
stuff.
email Steve if I mean, a cable will have no interference whatsoever if you have a source nearby, and even if you have two sources like a streamer or a TV, there's still a hierarchy in the connections. So
Yes.
you can do one for 3.5 mil to RCA, and then another 3.5 mil to PowerLink or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
But
optical, or that should all work. But
personally, I would just go core to the splitter. I would wire it all.
yeah,
I'm
but
just
he's
trying to
asking
think
the
how.
Weiss sound instead of the core, and I think this is probably again why the core is an odd product, because it's actually too expensive for what it is.
Yes and no, but like my issue with the whole third party setup, like it depends, right? Because eventually, I think that if you're gonna go with the a third party WiSA dongles deal, you are gonna at some point end up plugging it into a TV.
Mm-hmm.
And no, never mind, because I'm thinking 28s with the stupid Mozart and their own
Yeah.
brain and opinions and shit. Like, yeah, 20 and 18s are dumb as bag of hammers. They're not gonna do anything smart for you. They're just gonna play the
Which is a
sound that's
good
coming
thing
in.
in this
I
this scenario.
appreciate that. So that's yeah. Here's to freaking Weiss not being Weiss. I like hardwire.
The
You guys
core
hear the
has
fire
weak
trucks?
Beolab 19 support. Yeah, but just wire it, and then wire it through the 19 to the 18s. So I would say.
If I were to do it, I would do it properly. I would get a transmitter, plug in the power link in there, and if you pair in the speakers, then you can do B&O 2.1, which means two speakers and a sub. And the digital crossovers are now in the transmitter instead of you trying to dweeb around and fuck around. If I were to save money, I would honestly, like, if I were to do this, I would probably buy that Blue Note thing,
Yeah,
which hurts me to say that, by the way. But I would buy that and a transmitter, and then you have it properly set.
That's
And
the Blue Sound node, by the way. You
yeah,
don't need the power node because the speakers are amplified by themselves.
mm, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the best way to go about it, because, like I said, the crossing over is done. Other than that, like uh, the 19 doesn't work like the Beolab 2 used to work. That you would have obviously you still have the wall, corner, and freestanding presets, but then you have 1, 2, 3, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
for the Lab 2 preset 1 was for the Beolab 1s, preset 2 for was Beolab 8000s, and preset 3 would have gone to like lap 3s and lap 4s, which I don't know what lunatic would put lap 4s with the lap 2. That's just stupid. But that's the way the cookie should crumble.
Peter, what do you want to do actually? Do you want to attach it to a third-party TV, or do you just want it as a stereo for sound system? Because that changes
set up the scenario of what do you want to do, because then it's easier to help.
Then and after that we'll get into basically what this is.
Oh, fuck off. I damn near put the car in the wall when I saw that, but anyways. We'll wait for Peter to type out shit. What is with my chat? God damn you to hell.
It's the transmitter's just a B&O transmitter.
Your
dealer should be able. Transmitter 1, it's called.
Yeah.
Transmitter 1.
Well, and that's what I was getting at with the base management, that because I asked that Dave Zappel back in oh my god, when the Lab 19 came out and the 18s were around as well, that like how does it manage the crossovers? And essentially the crossing over is no more managed at all. It's managed by ABL. So if you start juicing them hard, then essentially the Lab 19 is going to start taking over more and more as the 18s are taking less and less, or taking off more and more. So that's the transition where in lap 2 you had those more or less rudimentary presets for 3 large, small, and very small species of speakers, or medium and small speakers. So there's that.
So it's for a sound system. Then either wire it in or use a transmitter one.
I would just go with the transmitter one. If you can't wire, or it's gonna be a shit show to wire it per se, then just go with the transmitter one and get yourself the Blue Note, and then you can put an HDMI in it too, and you can strip sound off the TV off of it as well, because it's got the ARC in it. So it's quite more advanced than what the Core you could ever wish for.
Yeah, I wish they would come with something like that, but not yet.
But instead, they came up with something different. Let's share that with the crowd.
I'm gonna wait.
Ruin my day. Do it.
Well, we'll start off with the least offensive. Just product pictures.
All right, now I got the chat.
So a B&O and Balenciaga, which is some sort of fashion brand, decided it was high time people had a purse and a speaker. And they've made 20 of them, and they can be yours for €8,500.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
It's an A1 in there.
An €8,500 A1. Because I was wondering, like, what did they recycle to put in there, right? Like, I could see, like, maybe some things from the Explorer, or a P2, or the Tombstone, that, the P6 that was a complete disaster anyways. But they went all the way to A1.
If you don't like it, or if you like it, like and subscribe.
Either way, it's awful.
It gets much worse than this, in my opinion. I guess if your missus is extremely into both brands and you have fuck you money, then okay.
Fuck you. Then fuck you, right? Take it. But I don't. You know what? I would like, honestly. I like it as a design concept idea. For me, what struck me that they went even like McStupid more than Berluti.
Yes.
Like they had gone completely off the rocker on this shit. And that's me no like.
Well,
All right, my computer has
Nicholas,
cooled down
Nick,
enough. I'm moving the fan. Sorry.
Nick says it's for your supermodel girlfriend, but in this brand, you're not supposed to see your significant other.
I think it's for Dubai or wherever. Like they wear these beehive nets on their heads.
I think the clothing is a bit too tight or too weird.
Yeah, they look like space aliens. These people. It's like Daft Punk crossed with that Black Spider-Man deal.
Yeah, it's.
What kind of bondage bullshit latex nonsense is this, though? Honestly, like all she's missing is a gag ball, red gag ball with a leather strap.
Yeah, and it doubles as a clown nose.
I was gonna say instead of a clown nose. Oh my lord, this is terrible.
I mean, it doesn't get much better for the males. It's. I mean, if this is like, surely at some point, whatever is fashionable should be somewhat comfy to wear. But this looks like it would be hot on a Canadian winter.
Yeah.
I mean, and also the shoes.
So
the shoes. Like, what are these sort of speedboat?
You know what that reminds me of? An album cover from Marilyn Manson's Mechanical Animals. That's what it reminds me of. If you want to pull up that image, then people will never take it off their mind.
Yeah, in that case, I'll leave it be for now.
But basically, he's dressed like this in gray with puttied out, jewelry box. It's weird.
I wonder whose idea this was. Is this like B&O asking to be in fashion or the other way around? Because
I just don't understand the value. Like, how are they coming up with the 8,000 euros or 8,500 euros?
I think it's the Balenciaga name, which is obviously totally unbeknownst to me and probably 50% of the people here. I'll have a poll for that.
Polish poll. Insane. I think I should have made a test run on this bloody thing here. Yeah, I never heard of Valencia before. So weird. So weird.
I mean,
bro, it's so fucking hot in here, man. This is gonna be so hard to get used to.
Well, you also went to Miami in the fucking summer.
Retard. I should have waited till September.
I bet you by then you would have still complained it was hot, but at least now you know that in September, when it's a lot less hot, it's not so hot as it is now.
Well, I've lived in Canada for 23 years and I still bitch about minus 37. It's just it's very hard to ignore the temperature when you're outside. Like, it's not like, but then again, people here are mind blow when I tell them that, yeah, like if it's above zero, I wear shorts, right? Because it's like, that's, we're almost into the summer here, bro. It's not, let's not get ourselves here. It's Canada. But yeah,
I mean, haute couture. Yeah, I don't like. I thought this stuff was meant to sell, not just be an exercise in weirdness.
Dude, if you bought, like, even with the fuck you money you bought this, I would never use it as a purse. I would never use it anyways. But like saying, like if I were to buy it as a woman, right? I think I would be too fucking scared to get it scratched, nicked, or anything. Like, what are you gonna get it coated with the shrink wrap for the cars, right? So you don't ding it, like, because that's feels bad when you drop this fucking thing. And where does it charge? I wonder.
I don't know. I would hope on the inside. It would be weird if there's a USB-C port on the outside.
It's probably there on the bottom somewhere hidden. Because on the inside there's really nothing. There's just, it opens up that stupid leather thing in there, right? That really, like, you can.
Yeah, it's a little pocket and you can put stuff in, like maybe a phone
and a freaking tampon. That's about it. Nothing else fits in there.
I don't know. A lot
performance.
of this B&O stuff feels very much like personal projects. Like somebody knew of this brand and they really wanted to do it. And I don't mind it that much if apparently not a lot of Balenciaga customers were buying B&O or something. But I don't know. They're not exactly swimming in money. And this is why I think it's so weird to do all these strange out of the box exercises.
Mm.
It's like it's not even that I particularly mind them doing this weird collaboration stuff. Like the Supreme thing from last week, I still don't really get what Supreme does other than slap its name on stuff. I
That's
mean,
all they do.
people say to me or tell me that they make it higher quality, but if they're not making it, they're not in charge of that. So it's like, and we know for damn sure that the Supreme, was it Explorer, is all done by B&O and how they anodize everything.
Hmm.
And there's nothing particularly better. It's just a different color, and it has a brand on it. And if you like that sort of thing, fine. I mean, that I
But they're
sort of
also
get.
anodizing. They're also anodizing all the aluminum trims for BMWs and Mercs and Audis as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that didn't know, all of your trims in those three cars brands that I named have been done, I think, since, well, Audi was since 2005. That was the first one that they've done, and then slowly and but surely, once they started, they put in, they're doing all the trim or the aluminum trim in the B&O system cars and the B&O factory, so all the aluminum actually matches properly, which people don't really pay attention to it, you know. But that's how it's done. When I was in Struer and walking through the factory in 2015, they had thousands upon thousands of the little trim rings for the tweeters on the front dash of the Audi A4 and A5s and like all those models that they had. So Valencia sells logo T-shirts for 600
No,
euros. Okay,
Balenciaga sells ripped logo T-shirts for €600, and Gen Z is crazy for them. I think B&O tries to connect to the younger generation. Could very
but
well
the young,
be.
yeah, but dude, like, what are they gonna, like, you know, crypto crash? So where the fuck are they gonna get the money? 'Cause it's terrible shit. Everything's dripping, sweating. Fucking
Wait, the
hell.
headgear in this is made in partnership with Mercedes?
What?
Wow. So you have a Mercedes helmet. I guess you're sort of private in a way because nobody can see what you're looking at.
COVID mask 2.0, I guess.
I
Freaking
mean,
just full
when I saw
shield.
this image, I thought Lewis Hamilton could wear this to like a Formula One race because he wears a bunch of weird stuff. But
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, man. It's if it is really to get to the connect to Gen Z, somebody on the Discord put up a whole list of connecting to Gen Z, and almost none of these brands except for Supreme were in it in terms of like top 10 or top 20
Hmm.
favorite versus millennial versus Gen Z uh,
Interesting.
things. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't mind B&O doing that, but it's the same reason I think it's weird that they're now sponsoring like Williams of all Formula One teams because it's a non-exciting team anymore, and it's sort of like that surely is expensive.
They're probably in a what's called an adopt a driver program or something.
I mean, I like to see the B&O logo out there, but if you're that short on cash, I doubt it pays itself back. I mean, they probably have to make a case for it at shareholders meetings and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It from an outside perspective, it feels like management sort of treats everything like we're still in the heydays.
Yeah, there's not much heydays going on here. I think I'm gonna buy the Explorer when I go out tomorrow to the B&O shop. Just to have something for the way back because I brought the level, but it's just so much to deal with.
Why?
Well, you like the only way I can use it is Bluetooth, right, when I'm out, or if I really want to use the app with it, then I have to create a hotspot off my phone, which is my network's name in my house, right? So it connects flawlessly. I find, I don't know if it's just my level or my luck, it doesn't like Bluetooth much. If it's not on the network, she got problems. I don't understand why. I don't know if I have the cursed ass freaking level or whatnot, or I just haven't used it enough. But I also have the same issue that when I start playback, I can't select anything from the B&O's app teaser playlist. It just doesn't work. You play one song and then it stops, so it's annoying. And if I go to Deezer, then it plays like 2-3 songs of like in the playlist, and then it just goes, okay, we're just gonna flow now, and all of a sudden you get like freaking wheelberries and shit coming in. I'm like, what's going on, man? I don't want to listen to freaking this right
This
now.
is the headgear for you in Florida now. It's so warm.
Hold on, I can't see it. Oh my fucking lord! That's like it's a Death Sniper ghillie suit. That's what that is.
Yeah, where you can snipe all the other haute couture brands.
Sad news. But yeah, it's interesting that they had, like, I had no idea that they were working on this at all. I don't think anybody had really.
No.
So kudos to them to keeping it hush hush, right? Because usually the shit would leak like a sieve.
Oh yeah. Like anything they do for themselves somehow leaks.
Right? But when they do it for somebody else, it's locked down. So I don't know.
Swiraza says Explorer is honestly great. Build quality superb and always easy to carry around. Impressed a lot of friends with it who didn't know about B&O before. Good entry level. Yeah, I totally agree.
Brother, you don't gotta impress me with that. I just want it because it's B&O. And it looks like a pumpkin. I can put it in the fridge and I carry it with me. And it's tough as rock, man.
Oh, it's tougher than an A1, that's for sure. I still prefer the A1, but
I do too. I don't like the new one because of the goofy ass Alexa deal going on in there. I don't condone that.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it.
No, I know, but it's just still, you have that one button that has no fucking use now, right?
Oh, apparently, by the way, we're more or less the plebs, because it seems like 2/3 of everybody knew Balenciaga before this.
Look at my fucking gray hair, bro. Do you think I watch news and read Cosmopolitan?
Get off my lawn!
You know what's crazy? Coming back to the drive for a second. Nobody goes speed limits. It's one thing. The other one was the conversions. Like, because now I'm, my car is in metric, so like, the fuck are miles, bro?
Wait, you can set that in the center console.
Thank God that it has that option, that the middle deal can actually tell you the thing, right? But the catch-22 is, when I see 40 on this fucking thing, I'm thinking it's 40 kilometers. Nah. It's a little faster than that, bro. So, yeah, I can. I've counted 23 Audis in the entire trip till I got here. There's more now. 23 Audis on the road, and 7 cops in the entire 3,000 miles or 4,998 kilometers that I have done here. That's it. And I fucking passed the cop, bro. I didn't care.
Yeah, but they generally don't. If it's quite often in America anyway, the speed is not so much the issue if it's safe.
Yeah, if you go, like, I'm going with the flow of the traffic, right? But then again, like in Canada, if you go with the flow of the traffic, these motherfuckers pull over like 6 cars in a row. If everybody was going over, everybody lines up and cash cow.
No, so in America,
the mentality, right? Like
if you go the speed limit and everybody's going over, then you'll be the one pulled over because you're not following the rest of the traffic.
And I had seen that instant karma. I was going, it was actually in Jacksonville, right before the rain hit, and it's this fucking old lady, full car, right, in a piece of shit. And we'll get into the piece of shit cars here in a second because I couldn't. 1 second. And I'm going behind her. Everybody's going 120 kilometers an hour, I guess, whatever it is, 80 miles an hour type of thing, or 70 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And this bitch is, saving everybody's life going 50. And I'm behind her. And all of a sudden there's the fucking cop car, right? And I undercover, I'm like, oh, dude, I can totally see this is because tinted out black, you can't see anything, and it's one of those Ford Explorers, right? Like you can tell that this is Popo.
Oh yeah, they have the special rims too.
They don't. He didn't.
Oh.
He had regular stock rims, bro. Like not what I know exactly what you're talking about. No, you couldn't fucking tell. But I just caught the glimmer of like the light bar above the freaking windshield, or inside the windshield, like inside. It was inside the car. It was undercover. And I'm like, I'm fucking off, right? Through a blinker, and he fucking rolls up on her, and there's like miles of empty road in front, and everybody's trying to get around. All of a sudden, here he goes, and I fucking blew up laughing like instant karma, baby. Get the fuck off the road. But yeah, that was one thing that I saw. And then I saw a 30 car. It was 25 or 30 cars. It was a lot of cars pile up. And then I saw another guy that launched it off the highway into the woods, like within a kilometer of that rainstorm accident thing that happened. Now back to the vehicles that people drive here. I was driving through Kansas, and I saw this piece of shit rusted ass Buick with what I would say would be about the same money that you would pay for that purse that he had worth rims on it. 10 grand worth of rims on a $700 car.
Yeah, people do that.
And he was white.
Doesn't matter.
Because like generally it's like more or less like, it's not just the blacks, but like Hispanics, I guess, in here. But I noticed like it's insane how, like, why would you spend 10 grand on rims instead of just buying a new car with nice rims
Oh,
for that money?
Pretty soon you'll experience your first donk.
What's that?
Donks are like cars from the mid 60s to sort of the early 80s.
Oh, I've seen those. This cigar burns like crap, man.
They have massive wheels and enormous engines, as in like 1,000+ horsepower, 1,500 horsepower.
Yeah, with the hood scoops or the freaking that little big on the top.
No, and they have no chassis reinforcements whatsoever. No brake upgrades, no nothing. It's literally get the crappiest car and put the most amount of power in that you can, and enormous wheels. Like, we're talking 26-inch wheels.
What? Yeah, it's insane.
Those are donks. They're a thing in the South.
No, I'm yet to see that nonsense. Yeah, I'm yet to see that nonsense. I know now what you're talking about. I haven't seen it yet.
It's a thing.
I finally acclimatized. I'm good now. I'm not sweating anymore. I'm good.
But apparently, coming back to the weird handbag, apparently B&O wants to show us with the handbag that they can make exclusive custom solutions, and of
course they can if you throw enough money at it.
And be a disruptor in the market. And to me, and that is apparently the aim for the future a bit. To me, that sort of sounds like if you don't like the balance, expect more of that sort of weird, out-of-the-box, unusual thing. Because if you want to be a disruptor, even with your own brand, it's not going to look coherent.
No,
that's not a pro or a con. This is not a value judgment per se. It's just that if you are like we are from the David Lewis era, we
don't understand it.
Yeah, and it's probably gonna be a bit more mishmash throughout the product lines.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, I think I'm too old for understanding this new concept of what they're doing. And you know what? It's just what it is, I guess. Like, power up this too. But I don't know. I just don't understand it. That's all. Am I missing something in the chat? This
No,
surface is weird. I can't like display the whole thing, the whole screen. I don't know why.
I just put up another poll. Like, I want to know if people actually like the little baggie they made.
I'm gonna mad that. Meh.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's full on meh. It's not like I hate it or anything. I I sorta think it's okay that they make something out of the box, but it's like it's excessive. It's somewhat stupid in many ways. I'm not sure how this ties in with anything else they do, really, other than it's a design exercise, which is like
should have made it multi-room person. Put a core in it, fine.
Yeah, but then they probably needed a hip bag or something to fit the level in.
With a duffel bag, an aluminium duffel bag, bro. It's like one of those suitcases from the Michael Jackson's "Who Is It" music video.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, I just dated myself again, I guess.
But it's, yeah, it's, I don't know, it almost feels like a passion project of some of the new design managers at B&O than, I don't know, was it, I think it was Steve who invited or interviewed the guy that designed the balance.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that guy, he looked exactly as I thought he would.
Which is good or bad?
It's
both.
It's sort of like,
yeah, I see it. I see where that come from.
Yeah, and it was sort of like I get that people like you think that everybody likes that because you like it. It's that sort of
mentality.
Well, maybe not even that, but the sort of type where I don't know, the people that will always tell you you're behind the curve regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
And seeing how the community accepted the balance for the looks and everybody said it was IKEA. Which I understand to a degree, but most people that say it's IKEA haven't heard it. But it's leaning a lot on its capability of sounding good versus how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like a BeoSound, because it was basically the successor to a BeoSound 2. Like a BeoSound 2 is so much prettier. I mean, it doesn't sound as good, but BeoSound 2 doesn't sound bad.
Balance looks like a vase with a sweater on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I understand that it softens the look of it, but I don't think it's for me. That's just what I say.
I mean, on the other hand, thank you, B&O, for having news in bloody summer. Because normally nothing happens for 2 months.
Yeah, thanks for giving us something to talk about. Even though it's good or bad, we appreciate the topic.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching us, please let us know in chat. I'll happily read out what people think, or if you have questions or stuff about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think it's a bit odd that all that's in there basically is an A1. Because the B&O bit is maybe the outside casing of the bag, but you're not buying this in any way for the sound. Not even.
It's more or less a wow factor type of thing. And honestly, like, if I had the fuck you money, I would have bought it. I would have bought it just for the personal collection, just like the Hyperbo, right? Like, it's something that, you know, like, you would never use it, but if you have one, everybody covets it because it's priceless now. And I can see this becoming not that. It's never going to be priceless because this is just it's an item that it's not iconic in any way. And
Oh,
I don't mean it in a
yeah.
bad way, but it's not like, to me, it doesn't strike any chord. Like, I gotta have this. Like, this is just, I gotta have it so I can tell people how much I fucking pay for it, and then they can take my temperature and give me a psychological evaluation if I'm not fucking crazy.
Quick interjection from the Discord. I saw it, and on the Twitch site. Thank you, Marshall Music. In the UK, Amazon has another bargain going on. You can get H9 third gens for under 120 quid on Peter. Oh, actually, it's not Amazon. It's Peter Tyson. After discount code, which is amazing headset for the price. So if you're interested in some H9 third gens, I think those were the last ones that worked passively, which is also nice.
So I'm sitting here yesterday. You get to the Airbnb, right? There's 4 guys there that share the house. And I was on the computer. One of the dudes he was cooking whatever shit for himself. There's one guy behind me typing on the computer, and the other guy was watching a TV to the right of me, sitting. And I put this in a neutral mode. You could tell where everybody is, which is insane to me. And it also proves the concept and the point where Steve has been sitting in that orbit where, they have however many speakers in there. So they can basically simulate the different environments to noise cancel, right? Because I was fucking amazed, dude. I was really amazed when I put it in the transparency mode. The headphones disappeared. I never really had that experience with those because I live on my own. So like, why the fuck would I put it in transparency mode, right? Or why would I noise cancel? I just have it in neutral. But I give 5 stars to the portals for performance. And also, I realized that Bluetooth, it lasts infinitely longer than doing it like when I'm doing it at home through the Microsoft dongle.
Yeah. So, well, it's the power requirement from Bluetooth 5.1, which is like sipping versus 2.4 gigahertz, which is a lot more energy inefficient by nature.
Yeah, but there's a lot more data coming through, right?
Yeah.
When it comes down to that, so
weirdly, coming back to the weird bag, like I forget who it was who now said, but like oligarchs would buy this. The insanely rich people I've known were the cheapest people I've ever met. So it's almost like, unless it's the new oil money rich people or they won the lottery or something, but people that have people that have actual wealth that's generational would never buy anything like this. They would buy B&O generally, but not this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Not something frivolous. Oh, what the fuck? We're having a structural collapse. Okay. Thanks. If you're wondering what my setup is, let me invite you to my studio. Which is, I have my laptop right here, sitting on a toolbox and a box of Perrier. Because tables are in a shortage here. So, yeah, it's fun times.
Also, apparently, B&O is working with Tom Sellers, a 2 Michelin star restaurateur, because he's, this news blurb is super weird because they talk about how they found out that music can make your dinner experience better. And it's like, I don't think I've ever been in a restaurant where they didn't have music playing in the background.
Yeah, you guys fucked up my steak because Coldplay is playing right now. Can you turn it off?
Heaven.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's I don't know. It's good for them. They do something, but it's just, yeah, like, why do you pretend that it's like something that you could buy off the shelf, like Vlad is saying, that it's just, it's some. How do you even? I'm gonna go tomorrow to the B&O store, of course, and I'm gonna ask him if I can order it.
No, I think you can only order it through Balenciaga.
Oh, is that right? So
Yeah.
that's not even B&O whatsoever. I wonder if like, so does B&O shop carry this, or like you just go to Balenciaga store and buy
Yeah,
one?
and I think they may have had enough reservations already.
I'm certain they would if they made 20 of them for this stupid money. Talk about freaking insane high margin, hey? Like that is.
I mean, on the other hand, this news blurb with the chef is good because they're gonna put a bunch of TVs and speakers and stuff in his restaurant, and that's
Nice.
like, ooh, good. If nothing else, that actually means money.
Mm-hmm. If I were to find a restaurant that has B&O speakers in it, I would exclusively dine in it only. Just because I love B&O. And I respect people that love B&O as well and not bitch about nonsense and whatnot. Sound like a bastard.
Sandeep said, I listened to Q4 presentation a few days ago. They love these collabs, expect many more of this type or thing, and influencer tie-ups. This is where I think it's weird who B&O sees as an influencer.
No, we're not influencers, bro. We're critical people here. We're bad news.
I can see that to a point because we're opinionated. But
not as much as Henrik. Henrik is black or white. We at least have a little shade of grays and shit, but Henrik just, he's very honest. And good for him. I don't I don't diss that. It's just I hold my opinion as well, and it's just whatever. I guess the only difference is that we're more or less
yeah, but most of the
the
influencer people just take pretty pictures of themselves in like, I don't know, where you are with palm trees. So maybe you can become an influencer again and just go,
well, I'm gonna influence tomorrow, bro. I'm gonna find some fucking crazy ass spot hopefully tomorrow if I can for the podcast and broadcast from there.
So Sandeep said low investment from their point of view and relatively high engagement. We're not their target market anymore.
Well, my question is, who's scooping up the profit margin? Okay, how much does this actually? How much does the BO get out of that 8,500 off this goofy ass bag? You know what I'm saying? 1,000, 2,000 at the
most?
Well,
they make most of the bag because the entire outer shell is aluminium.
They make the whole freaking bag. The Balenciaga probably just throws in the little leather insert in there, and Bob's your uncle, right?
Yeah, but what's more valuable, the Balenciaga name or the B&O name? To me,
it's B&O.
Same, but I have a feeling that if B&O, if there's sort of what read between the lines of what Sandeep is saying, if
dude, there's a fucking plane with a QR code flying. Watch, you see it?
You can scan the sky.
Scan the skies, bro. That's a giant QR code. I don't know if you guys caught it or not.
Yes.
Fucking Miami.
But I have a feeling for B&O, if they get their costs out of it back, then it's fine. Because you gain.
Oh, I'm sure they would. I'm sure that they made some money on it, but I don't think that they made Balenciaga money on it.
Yeah. Sandeep says B&O's overall group-wide margin actually increased a bit. One rates last 12 months. The joy of price rises. Yeah. Well, I mean, with how much they upped the price in the last year, their margins should improve. It would be awful if it didn't.
Yeah, I was looking at their $114,000 now, the Lab 90s.
I think so, yeah.
I'm gonna go tomorrow to that store, and I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna say who I am. I want to say shit. I'm just gonna go and listen to the 90s. Because I need my fill, bro. I really need it. I fucking miss these speakers so bad. So bad.
You didn't put a photo on the fucking resume you sent?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would I do that? Let them figure it out.
I guess here it's sort of normal.
Hire me, fucking come on, I'm the best. No, shit, I just asked in my bourbon.
Still drinks it.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, brother. I would drink it if it was a fly in there, which had died a glorious death, drowning in a good bourbon. This is actually really good shit. I have not seen this in Calgary.
Oh, this is good news. They're starting to ship goods more conveniently, or conventionally, sorry, with boats and stuff, instead of flying as shipping constraints have eased. Yes! That's good news for me. Because I need to ship shit.
Ship shit out. I need to ship shit out too.
Because if boats become more available, then also airplanes become more available, and then I have the choice and both prices go down.
The flying is, honestly, I would rather spend 5 days on the road in my car smoking a cigar with all my lighters and knives and shit that I'm bringing with me that I can bring and exist somewhere where I would just go with one handbag, because if you get luggage right now and I would have to fly to Pearson or through Pearson Airport in Toronto, it would be an utter disaster. Like, it's a disaster. It would take me 3 days to get here as well because of the layovers.
Yeah.
So fuck it. People think I'm crazy for driving up here. No, man. This just...
In terms of gas, it's probably similar price anyway.
It cost me...
What, like 6 tanks? No, a bit more. Like 8, maybe 9?
$600, I believe, was the overall cost of the gasoline. I think I'm at, like, overall by now, with my spendings, and I'm talking like buying bourbons and hotels and stuff, I'm at $2,000 to get here.
No, that's not too bad.
Which the plane ticket would have been almost $1,500.
And then you need a car locally.
Then I need to rent out a car, and if I were to Uber everywhere, that's a major fucking pain in the dick. And you don't have the freedom of going where you want to go, right? And so that's why I chose to drive here. And it's funny because, like, even with the guys I was saying, where you're from? Like, from Canada. I was like, holy fuck. There's obviously something pull up, right? Yeah, I made it here. Almost 5,000 kilometers. More than 5,000, because
that doesn't mean anything to Americans. Where is that? Long, short? What is that?
3,000 miles, bro. Here you go. Oh my god! Right? But yeah, I got fucked up in Kansas though. Jesus Christ, I was coming off the highway, and it's just construction. Like, they're redoing all the overpasses and everything, and I'm sitting in the car going, "Oh Lord." The GPS says one thing, road is on a different. I'm not even on the road that the GPS is saying that I'm on. And third time was the charm. I got onto the right highway. I was pissed like a motherfucker though, man. I missed it twice in a row. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I finally got out. So it's gonna be the same problem coming back, because it's the other way and it's completely different again. I gotta give them though, like, the technology that they use for building overpasses is completely different than what we do in Canada. And mainly, I guess, would be because they don't have fucking winter here. Everything, all the bridges are built out of solid steel, like steel girders all the way around or all the way down, and then there's a concrete pad laid on top of it that becomes a road, and then they put the jersey barriers, and that's it, right? Where that construction is immensely simpler than what we're doing in Canada, because everything has to be concrete, because when it's minus 37, that bridge is going to be now 17 feet shorter, fucking reaching this shit, right? So because it would just shrink and wouldn't work, especially in Calgary with the Chinooks, when those temperature stresses come around, it would be insane. But I do appreciate the efficiency that the Americans run here. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
like
it's
insanely different. One thing that was completely off the hook, as soon as I left the border, all the roads, asphalt was orange. like pinkish orange.
I think
Never
that's a
seen this.
state thing. That's
I sort of try to figure out how it is, and what I can tell or could tell is that those orange lanes would appear when you were changing states. There is no like welcome to Kansas or welcome to Arkansas or whatever. Like come in. There's a big fuck off sign. Welcome to Alberta. I had no idea what freaking state I was in, bro. The entire time, I just had to zoom in on Google and see what border I crossed.
if you go from Illinois to Wisconsin and or Michigan, you see those signs.
Do you?
Yeah, but I mean in Illinois, the roads are like this god awful light gray concrete with like lines.
The grooves.
Yeah,
those are so weird because the grooves are not straight. So when you're going above 100K,
it's literally this color. The road is this color in Illinois.
It is fucking concrete, dude. Yes. It's concrete. And like I'm like, why the fuck? And I understand why the grooves are there. You get better traction when there's like copious amounts of water, which these torrential downpours happen, right? Like you need some sort of attraction, so that gives you a little more. But the side effect of it is when you're driving on the road, it does this to the car because the tire grooves catch into the grooves of the concrete, and you have this like weird sensational wobble that like I'm like, am I fucking high or something? But no, it's just the car's doing this thing, and it hums weirdly every now and then. Just like, what is going on? And they pulled over, take a piss. I'm like, Jesus Christ, these roads are actually concrete.
Yeah, that's always been weird to me because Wisconsin has quite a few of those, and they always break up over wintertime, and it's a perpetual repair.
Yeah, that we had. I remember when I first moved to Canada in Calgary, the whole Deerfoot. Well, there was a huge section of it that was all concrete, and it turned out to be the worst part of that entire highway because of the insane cracking and spackling of the concrete, and it's just, oh my god, it was no good. They ripped it all out, and now it's back to normal, I guess, or back to asphalt. I gotta say, I've never seen so many little micro ants around.
Yeah. Oh, just catching up with Sandeep here. Apparently, the Q4 investment update was otherwise boring. Revenue was slightly down 10% or so. They have their guidance for next year unchanged, but concede the outlook is very uncertain for people that aren't reading chat. Indeed, they said the downshift in football shop visits they saw in recent months shouldn't get any worse. We'll see. China reopening, one assumes, may well offset the weakness in Europe. So the next 12 months may be okay for the group as a whole, maybe. Elsewhere offered no visibility about product pipeline, which I said the FCC did. Because I think they dug themselves another hole where...
the patents.
Well, you can request the FCC keep stuff confidential until you release it.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, though, what I sort of kind of read from other releases is that release on the FCC website comes on the day of the sort of quote-unquote product launch, or at least when it becomes visible to the wider public. And then once you sell it, then everything is open. Because that's not always the same, right? When you launch something, that doesn't always mean you can buy it straight away.
Well, for B&O, that's for damn sure.
So I have a feeling that when the FCC said the Beer Sound Theater has been asked to keep confidential for the next 180 days, which is now 2.5 months ago.
What are they, Pfizer? Fucking keep that shit secret for 57 years.
So I can't help but think that that will come no later than the 11th month, because that's like it should be available in November, unless the FCC just dumps out all the specs and B&O still has nothing.
Yeah.
I'm
having a hard time with this laptop here, man.
In terms of what we were thinking of and looking at the backside of the BeoSound Theater, it seems like a lot of people will probably be waiting for a product like that. What it exactly does, you can't really go into, and nor does the FCC. But it looks like there's at least a power link in or out, because there's way too many RJ45 connections on the back of it.
Maybe they just made a switch. I would be pleasantly surprised if they did that. If they made those RJ45 ports dual ports, meaning that you could do network off of them, or you can do power link based on, I don't think that would be that hard to design in my eyes. And that would give you the option of, let's say, just going to speculate now. If we move on to, let's say, IP controlled speakers, which I think that's the direction that we're generally are aiming into towards. And I think that if the BeoSound Theater comes out and they're smart about it, that they would have some sort of a software upgrade availability over time, that it gives you the ability to now connect to, let's say, new Beolab 78 that is IP speaker / power link / Mozart and all that nonsense together.
The 50s
right?
and 90s are more or less IP with the Halo now, or at least
That's right.
IP controlled.
But
And
the funny thing was that they couldn't do it, right? Till we bitched and moaned and complained, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, oh look what happened. Oh, this is working now.
Yay!
Ain't that a little peculiar?
Yeah, well, I think they're keeping the cards close to their chest.
Yeah, but I think they're also looking at it like when you're watching a poker game, like they don't let you see other cards in the camera, and they lift those.
Yeah.
But every now and then they do that, and they do it in the wrong camera.
Speaking about hot, the other day was warm.
Oh, boo.
No, the reason I could tell was my cat.
Went in the bathtub.
No. The aluminium stays cool.
Oh, so they sitting on the freaking TV plates?
No, he's butt against the 50s and the head on the and his head on the floor stand of the beer center too.
He figured it out. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, and he was so comfy.
I remember, like, my dog that we've had, he passed a long time ago now, but that was back when I still lived with my mom after I divorced my wife, and I brought the BV9 and I had the lap 2 with the 8000s in the room. I just eventually left her that TV and the speakers. And Duffy would always go and put his butt up against the lap 2.
Nice.
I know. I'm like, are you gay or what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, why ass? Like, and he would just lay in front of it and like watching movies and stuff. And the louder it would get, the more vibration, right? The more he loved it. I don't know what the hell.
Well, it's a
but
massage,
he was also going
basically.
deaf too. Oh yeah, like it's full on.
The doctor asked, I was thinking to buy an Eclipse sound center and put my LG G1 in it. Would you advise to wait for the BeoSound Theater? If you have no hurry,
yes.
Why not?
At least if you have no hurry, at least wait. So then you don't have a feels bad that you bought something that now, oh fuck, well this was way more capable and it was only like 1,000 or 3,000 euro more. Let's say, right? Like,
or even if it's the same price or less, and it does enough of what you want it to do.
If it's the same price, then it's a real feels bad.
Yeah, or maybe it's, who knows? It might be cheaper, but does enough what you want it to do, right? Like if you just want a stage, let's say it's a stage that can do rear speakers and that's all you want out of it, then why go the Eclipse route?
Exactly.
I mean, eventually I think everybody will be convinced that as soon as you start messing with BeoVisions, that surround sound is the shit. I have yet to see people become less convinced about surround sound after they've got BeoVisions. But if you want something right now, the Eclipse is for sale and can be delivered. So But what are we talking? We were talking a month and a half, 2 months, something like that.
If you're thinking of an Eclipse, and if you want it on a floor stand, I have a mint condition floor stand that I've used for 2 months that I had the Eclipse before I sold it. But the guy didn't want the floor stand, so I packed it up. So if you want it, doctor, I'll give it to you for fucking half price. Ship it out wherever you are. I hope you're not in Europe because that feels bad. But you can buy it cheaper there. But if you're in America or Canada, hit me up, man. My email's public enough that I get spam from shit that I never signed up for. So.
Right. So when was this?
You're in Holland. Oh, feels bad, brother. I'm not sending that shit to you because it's gonna cost you more shipping than it's worth.
So the cover letter was from 5/17/22 for the Beer Sound Theater, which plus 180 days maximally.
Fuck.
That's 2 months ish from now, something like that. I mean, to put it this way, every other TV, well, that's not exactly true, but in terms of last TVs, the Eclipse was launched 30th of August or 29th, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
The Harmony was launched shown off in April, but you could buy it again in September.
Yeah. But they only have like the traveling pair, right? They only had 3 TVs at the time.
But it was available to buy actually in September. I think even the BV14 also got launched end of April, available to buy.
Lab 90s were the same way, because I remember when the Lab 90s were launched, it was one traveling pair for North America and one traveling pair for Europe. And that was before the ABL was finalized, more or less, and the actual tuning of the speakers, like you would have with the RG45 microphone setup, was done through what are those big fucking connector things? XLR plugs.
Yeah.
With XLR plugs, you had to buy a $700 board from B&O, which I didn't. I'm like, fuck it, I'll listen to them factory for a while and see what happens, because they sounded great factory. Like, they sounded great in aero mode as well. But once that software came out, and then because I got the welcome package with the microphone when I bought them, and I had tuned them, I shit a nugget, man. It was like, wow. I don't think that I would have felt bad about buying that stupid board thing. But then again, then I would have never been able to use it ever again, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Yeah, it was immediately pointless after that.
It was immediately pointless. It was, and all of a sudden you rendered €700 or $700 left, rendered useless.
I guess you can write it off as a business expense or something, but even
but the money is still spent, and now you have a product that has absolutely no use other than recyclable, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem that I had. Like, if I were to own a store, a larger B&O shop, then I would have spent the money, because that just washes the fuck out anyways. You sold the first pair of 90s, like, what, $700? Who cares? But yeah, I can't justify this. I'll wait, and then it just came out and it was all good.
Yeah, that's the FCC ID code for the TTU, and then BS is Beer Sound, and then Theater is the name. And they have to do it rendered because you can't do too much, but that is where the FCC compliant label is.
Yeah.
And so that's coming.
Back to one comment that Dan Star 3000 made that I would love to stage with 2 levels of surround. Yes, me too, but I think that you're wishing too much for what the capabilities of the stage is, because it's still running on the old platform.
The stage will never be able to be upgraded to do that.
Oh, hell no. No. Stage is what it is. It's you look at it like an analog BeoSound 1, the CD player from back in the day. Like, this is what you got. That's all it does. It won't do anything ever anymore. and there's no upgrading on it on what can you do.
But this is what I was talking about. Like, these are way too many connection bits to not be able to do alternate things. Then
Maybe they just took us too hard, and with the Edge or whatever. No, Edge. What was that stupid Emerge thing? They just go like, okay, we'll just make a router with speakers in it now. We'll make a playing switch.
yeah, I mean, this where my mouse is hovering over it, that sure looks like an HDMI ER connection port because of the size, it's not clear enough. But like, so every icon is at least a plug input or output of some kind.
But I think what Danster's saying, like, yeah, you meant stage-like product. I think that stage-like product is basically right now on the screen.
Yeah,
is what we're talking about. That I don't think that you're going to be able to use levels per se as auxiliary speakers to it.
Who knows? Maybe if they find a way to do the whole Sonos thing
out of the box. Let's be real with the B&O here. Out of the box, this thing, as we all know, is going to come in with, it's going to be a wheelbarrow without the wheel, and the wheel is going to be another software update that comes in 3 months later. So for now, you're just going to be dragging the fucking thing behind you till you can actually put a wheel on it and push it in front of you and actually make it fully useful. And I think I hope they don't do it, and I hope that they've learned from back in the days that, like, don't half-ass the launch.
A year and a half ago with the bloody Halo.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, they got the hint with the Halo because they were gonna release it way more dumber than it was supposed to be, even though it was still dumb because I come from the BO6 remote era, BO5 remote era also, right? Which those were $1,000 remotes. Now those were
the Halo was €750.
Right, but those remotes were great if you knew how to program them, and that's where a lot of installers suffered with it, and it falls back again to B&O's training, and and actually, I think that the one thing that B&O really screwed up on, in my opinion, when it comes to the BO6 remote back in the day, was what they should have done is they should have released a document that had listed all of the IR codes and functions that you can program, and that's because I'm a fucking nerd, man. I'm seriously, like, I've read the BeoLink manual or BeoLink handbook back through back more than Moses read the Bible, and
he wasn't exactly Christian, but that's besides the
whatever.
point.
Well, he might have read it, right? Skim through it. That's the point, right? He just fucking skimmed through it, and he don't have an understanding of shit. Where I sat on this, and when I first got my BO5, I had, because it keeps a track of how many uploads you do to it, right? By the time I was happy with what I had, I was on 367 uploads to the remote control. That's a fucking weeks. Yeah. That's weeks. Now, that being said, that was in my house, my time, my place, my gear, my fuck around. And I didn't do it just so I can, I did it because I want to be uber proficient in programming that remote. And I know I can tell by just looking at the codes that, okay, well, this should be IR designated to the audio instead of video, and you can modify that within. But if you don't have a clue, it's not going to work. And another thing that was really bad about the software was the fact that if you had, let's say, you have a customer that, had a fully set up BO Remote 1 or BO Remote BO5 or BO6 with the gateway and a BO Sound 5 and everything would work, and they all of a sudden decided to add another room. You can't add another room into the BO6 program without fucking up the rest of it. So essentially, what happens is you need to have a full understanding of what you had programmed and remember what you've programmed, and then redo all of it with an extra additional. So that was the biggest problem, and that was the biggest hate on the BO6 remotes. That's you can call me out if I'm wrong, but I'm not. And that was the death of the BO6 because they just People didn't know how to program it. It looked very sexy on the pictures with the channel logos and such, and you have this big ass icons for your aircon and blinds and shit. You can do those, but you need Photoshop to make your own icons if you want different icons, because they didn't have all the icons unless you go like with the KNX system that was in a folder that they robbed or borrowed their icons for all the stuff. It was not as intuitive to program as let's say BeoRemote 1. And now the problem with the BeoRemote 1 I have is what I've said a few podcasts ago, is that B&O should make a patch in a service tool for the BeoRemote 1s that you are able to fully copy the setup. Because I've tried it, it copies the setup, but it ignores all the light and control commands, which are more important to me than anything else. Because you can select the source, but if I have to go into like, feels bad for Eric, he's got fucking 7 remotes, right? And he has to do all of them individually, dude. Like, that's a week's worth of work, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
right? And then you get a software update from BioSound fucking M3 or whatever, and it just goes squeegees clean all of your shit. Which they now started I'm making fun of everything, Charles. Religion is too, politics too, so don't worry about it.
But I didn't make fun of religion. I made fun of Willie for not knowing who this guy, to which religion he belonged to.
So, anyways, don't get too chafed, brother. It's okay. Pray for me. Here you go. So, that being said, they should make a patch that copies all the settings, and you now generate more revenue for the installation department on the service side for the store. Because if they want, let's say they bought the remote, you can just go to the house and say, okay, we can just suck the program from your existing remote and dump it into the new one. Bob's your uncle. I think that's what they should do. And I don't think that they had thought about this, just because I don't think that they take the BioLiving intelligence seriously.
No, I don't.
They pretend to be serious about it.
I did hear some good news in that, was it the New York store that actually somebody went in sort of poking around, and they actually said, oh, we can do a bunch of stuff with home automation. So if you're watching, or if you're not watching and you thought of it yourself, good job. That's actually, finally, because if you don't tell people, they won't know.
No.
I mean, it's an inconspicuous box as it is.
But the biggest feel bad about this is that okay, well, most of the dealers, like, they dabble in Control 4 or Lutrons and stuff, right? So they natively revert to Control 4 to control all the B&O products with their shitty remotes, because they're comfortable with programming it versus having a gateway controlling the environment and programming it, because they don't understand. Again, it falls back down to IR infrastructure, because even though that you're programming it in the gateway, it's still on the same IR language that B&O has been since the BeoLink 1000 times.
That before even?
No, BeoLink 1000. Dude, when I went back in 2015 to Denmark for a factory tour, and they had still, like, the BioVision department wasn't dissolved at the point, but it was going away because the guys were retiring and they're old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude had freaking glasses, like, if you look in the sun, it'll burn holes to the back of his head, like. But it was fucking insane, man. You're sitting in this room, and they had, to simulate the light, and then they had this huge light that pretends to be the sun, and it starts to move on this track across the goddamn room, and it's changing color. And then he turned off all the chroma effect correction and everything else in the TV, and the difference was amazing. How much the Avant would correct for all the lighting in the room and everything else. It was insane. And what did he control the TV with? BeoLink 1000. I didn't even know that the thing would work with it.
Yeah, but was the first of that code not the 5500 system? Because
5500 was different, because 5500 had a two-way, and it was a different IR, but it did accept the BO4.
Yeah.
or BeoLink 1000, but that was a different. It was a two-way IR system, right? And that was the BeoLink 5000 remote as well.
Because I have a BeoMaster 5000 here, and that works on the old IR, and that doesn't work with
Yes.
anything other than of the age. And
well, you got to put the Beo remote 1 to Beo4 AV, right, or audio.
Yeah, but I have the terminal.
Jesus, you're terminally crazy. That's an IR too, 9-volt battery, right on.
Yeah, but it's horrible because this is the other IR standards. So I have this remote and this jumbo dog of a thing.
That's a two-way.
Yeah, but it's awful.
I don't think so. I think it's a great, like, for now, yeah. Like,
but
nowadays,
this is
like, you're like, it's awful. But if you think about it, back in the day, like, this was like all the Japanese stereos and shit had all of that at the front of it, right?
Yeah.
This is all discreetly concealed, and it's not on the where you don't have to get your ass off the chair to go change something. Everything is inside this little mini computer thing with like 6 D cell or 3 D cell batteries or whatever the heck it takes.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
But this was Tony Montana crazy cocaine money, bro. Like, that's a system. Like, you know, who the fuck has that, right? Back then, and it was a groundbreaking technology if you think about it. Who else had an active feedback that you play in a CD and it tells you time on the remote control where the track is at?
It's so weird compared to the BO4 in that it's so directional.
Oh yeah, it's very directional.
I mean, with a BO4 you can do that and it always works. With
it
that,
goes,
you
man.
actually have to
BO4 is
point
like
it at it.
BO4 is like a mag-like flashlight for God's sakes.
I mean, the Essence remote works pretty much without pointing, or even it works with stuff in between it.
Well, yeah, because it's got 4 IR blasters. That's the same concept that they had in BO6 and BO5 when they had 3 IR blasters going 1 up and 2 sideways. Actually, no, there was only 2. Correct. Sorry, it was only 2 IRs. But those were so bright that when you actually put a cell phone camera on it and you turn the volume up, it literally, like, you would, like a flashlight into the camera. They were so bright. Like, it worked through the blankets, for God's sake.
I mean, it coming back to the BSN Theater, it does look like it has WISA. Because there is a bunch of stuff in the test results that goes high into the 5 gigahertz territory where WISA resides.
But that means then, well, I don't, like, I think that the WISA right now is slowly becoming, I would say, almost obsolete because of the frequency competition.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge that it has. And I think that B&O should start really looking into IP configurable speakers. And if you make, I don't know if you could actually get away with a super small, like a lap 4, let's say, right? You round it off a PoE.
Yeah, I'm not sure people would want it. Yeah, maybe for hallway speaker, but not necessarily for surround sound system. I mean,
like rear heights and stuff. Come on, like you don't need 7,000 watts screaming at you from the ceiling. It's just for the
sure,
effect.
but
it's just a little.
You would potentially like more than 30 too.
The what?
You would potentially like more than 30 watts too.
Shut up, man. They're 75. Lap 4s are 75 watts. Don't fuck around.
Yeah, but PoE usually rounds off at like 30 to 35 watts over an Ethernet cable, doesn't it?
I don't know. Like, I've installed switches that were 560 output.
Yeah, but you don't put that out over one PoE channel.
No, you don't. Like, it can manage all of it, but I don't know how much it could handle. I ran, honestly, at the very low volume, we've tried this, and I ran a Lab 12 off a 9-volt battery. Not for long, but it ran. That's how efficient the amps are. I think the only thing that would need is they probably have to have a larger caps, so they would have to have it charged. So if there is a big spike in sound, they could cope with it, which would be very occasional.
PoE provides a maximum of 30 watts at 48 volts DC. And then you have
Lawrence says it's UPOE plus is 90 watts.
Yeah, high PoE PSE provides a maximum of 100 watts of power. A 4-pair cable is required for that. So
Cat cable, Cat 7.
Yeah.
This is the worst cigar I ever bought. Fucking hell.
I mean, could you do it? Yes, but it's going to be, in my mind anyway, that it's such a pain in the ass to have people put that all in there, and then you have to figure out, is it worth investing in all the internal structure for that versus just a power cable and fish it through the wall somewhere?
At the end of the day, you got the point there, because if you're fishing shit, you might as well. What's the difference between 1 or 3 or 5 cables? If you're fishing, you're fucking fishing, right? You're pulling. So it doesn't matter how much you pull, you just pull. The problem is that
but it needs to be at 48 volts, right? Which is another, like, it at that point.
No. I'm just saying, like, if to the argument that I made earlier, like the PoE, like to your point that if you're pulling that cable anyways, right? So you can just strap on the goddamn power cord and pull them together.
Yeah,
and that's the end of it. The only thing that I would run is a shielded Cat 7, because if you're running the power parallel to the power link, then you might experience a 60 hertz buzz or 50 hertz buzz, whatever you guys run over there.
It's unusual though for 18s, etc., to have that be affected. 90s and 50s are potentially a different story with how much power they pull, or a TV for that matter. Because a TV, the sound center pulls probably, I don't know, on average something like 100 watts, maybe 150, and then the panel also pulls like 100 to 200 watts. So, I mean, that's like 300 watts closer together. I mean, that's even on lap 9s or 20s, you're not pulling that on average at all, ever.
Yeah, but I'm not saying you run the TV off of PoE and shit.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's the cat cable next to the power cable, right? For that interference to actually jump over, you have to pull quite a lot of power.
It's also a grounding issue sometimes too.
Yeah.
That I've come across, and lighting systems do havoc or cause havoc sometimes as well. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how this works.
I mean, I'm kind of excited. I really want to see what the Beosound Theater is going to be. If they can sort of reverse or B&O-ify the whole Sonos experience, I would be very much for that. Because a stage-like product with levels on the back wall is going to be sweet.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, if that's at all possible. Also, a level is pretty and it looks nice on the back on the wall, like straight up and down.
I just wish they made a little different wall bracket for, because the cable is not meant to go in the wall, because you have the little offset clip that sits a few centimeters down from the bracket
but after
itself.
the offset clip, you can go into the wall,
I guess. Yeah, you'll never see the hole because you're not taking it off. Like they're just static speakers, right? It's not like, you know, the commercial that the girl fucking hangs it on the wall and then does her thing and she pauses the music.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Where you take your level off the wall and then somebody turns the TV on with a movie and all of a sudden you sit outside with the surround sound speaker.
See, that would have to be intelligent enough to know when it's off the charging dock to not behave that way.
Yeah.
That would have to be part of some sort of a logic or algorithm, I guess, that would need that. Plug my fridge back in here. Jesus Lord, man, it's hot. Stop sweating, so that's good.
Well, if you stop sweating, you'll just get hotter.
No, that means that I'm good with it now. Okay.
Or dehydrated.
No, I'm not dehydrated. I drink a lot of water. But when I go in and I'm going to be cold now, that's the problem. It's funny. And yeah, Walmart here is freezing cold. It's way colder than Canada.
Yeah, I told you so.
For us, is the Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada. They keep that shit like, oh my god, like it's like a morgue.
Yeah, that's Walmart. You walk in and you have a headache if it's warm.
That was good. It's my environment. Just walk around. Oh, nice. Standing underneath a fan or a vent. Really saying.
Sandeep says, remember the level goes idle and off network after 15 minutes if not docked used. Surely that could be fixed potentially in software. Because I doubt anything out of the box would just work straight away. This has to be a whole joint system if that was ever going to be experimented with.
Yes. Personally, I would just develop a speaker that doesn't separate, but it's IP controllable.
Yeah.
That is just a new species of Beolab's new era. And
yeah, but that's like in programming, that's basically like if on charger, then never leave network.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be just a simple setting as that, but currently it's not because of reasons.
Energy savings, I guess.
Yeah.
Nonsense bollocks.
I mean, who knows? But I mean, even if it's not levels, maybe a balance, because a balance doesn't do that. A stage-like product up front and 2 balances behind you is an amazing surround sound setup.
Plus, they can shoot in 3 different directions as far as the sound is concerned, so they can actually bounce stuff off the walls and whatnot.
Yeah. But then again, I hope B&O has their software sorted out.
Well, they hired a whole bunch of new people, right? So hopefully that...
Yeah, but that also means they have to get acquainted with how it all works. Because not over the weekend, over the last 3 days or so, there was an update for a bunch of Mozart stuff. And I've never seen so many complaints on Discord in my life. And
oh, really?
Everything Mozart and stereo paired stopped working and are not being available on the app.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't even... I have my level with me here, but I haven't updated it. I haven't even connected. I haven't turned it on for a while now. It's been months since I had it on.
Steve's emerges unpaired themselves and then weren't available in the app anymore.
Damn.
So it seems to be only Mozart related. Then Razla, I think, had it with his 28s, where all that still worked was the power link in, but he couldn't switch because he has a BV7. They don't have that wide or narrow set or the number setting. So he just had them in narrow because that's the last thing they were left on.
Couldn't he request that special sauce software like they did for the 90s? I wonder if it's even available for the 28s.
They haven't made it if it's available.
Because I know that on the BeoSystem 3, it was just basically a BeoSystem 3 platform for a BV7, so it should be working.
Sandeep says the recent software update has bricked as BeoSound 2. How so? What's bricked about it?
I wonder.
To me, as a semi-techie, bricked means broken beyond repair.
It's foobar. It's foobar.
Yeah, as in you can't flash it to working condition anymore.
Yeah. Levels leaving the network after no activity. Looks like somebody needs to do some more research on the programming department there, or in the programming department.
So Sandeep says, B&O have dumped the software version from Mars onto his BeoSound 2, one that his dealer does not even recognize. Christian says recent last on the first gen was October, second gen was in January. Oh, that's in reference to BeoSound 2. Yeah, because my BeoSound 2 is a Gen 1 and it still works fine. I'm not sure if I have the auto update on for that. So I'll have to look.
I'm glad that all my stuff is in storage, so when I turn it up...
But my 28s, after all the issues last time, I'm so happy I turned off the auto update. Because after I got them working again, it's like, fuck you guys. You're not touching any of the shit anymore. I'll
Yeah,
I'll wait until it's all fixed and settled. But software is still somewhat of a thing. It was a lot better, but as you keep on saying, I think it's the people not living with it. And there's only so many scenarios you can
that they can try.
Yeah, that it's hard to figure out all potential things.
Bugs.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I bet you they don't have 50 routers laying around and just turn them on and see what happens.
then I'm sure that somebody from the department lives in an apartment building. Give him the fucking system. Have him live with it there. Have him work from home. I don't care. Do something. Just have him live with it and see what happens. And if I were to do it, I would have him run a constant log of what is happening within the system, because I'm sure they can pull that the file, right?
Yeah,
And just see where
the logs I tried to send from the 28s just crashed the app at the time. So I could send my complaint, but then they didn't know it was a complaint about 28s. And I couldn't send the logs because as soon as you clicked I want to send the logs, it said no.
Yeah, that's. I think guys need to do a little more touch-ups on there, man. It's not good.
I'm not. I don't even think I'm on the beta software.
I am on beta online.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll turn on the level tonight and fuck it up. See what happens.
Give yourself a headache.
Got nothing better to do anyways tonight, so get me a level and see if it works or not.
I mean, the evening time is probably nice because it'll cool down quite a bit. I mean, it won't get cold, but it'll be
yesterday
lower
was still
20s.
30 degrees. No, yesterday was 30 degrees. It dropped 4 degrees. That's it. All night. It was hot as fuck. But get used to it. I'd better be hot than cold, tell you what.
Yeah, same. That's why I'm also going there. Can't fucking wait.
Don't.
Well, I kind of have to with some things, and actually, the we need vaccination papers for the cats.
Oh.
I'm not even joking. They're not allowed into the country with FDA approved vaccination stuff.
Who?
The cats.
What?
Yeah.
So,
apparently.
So what are you going to vaccinate them against?
I think rabies and something else. But then the weird thing is that the vaccinations for animals that are approved by the FDA for federal crossings may not be accepted by each individual state. And we found the website, the US FDA, whatever, and it says, click here to see your state. And then it says, click here to see the list of approved from the FDA. And then you get to the FDA, and it says, click here to see your state. So you keep on going in fucking circles.
Oh, God. So it doesn't give you an answer then?
No. Other than these are the most common. Click here to see your specific state. It's like, get there! I just want to know which is okay.
Yeah, Christian, don't worry about it if you're on vacation, man. Have some pizza. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if you ever have any pizza questions, ask Christian now he's here.
That's right. He's a pro pizza man. He's got his own oven.
He makes some delicious looking pizzas.
I think they're delicious altogether, not just looking.
Well, I've never tried them. Have you?
But they look fucking delicious. So
who knows? Maybe the ones that he doesn't show on Instagram have like herring and stuff on them. Like proper Danish pizzas.
This cigar performs like the last software update. There's a lot of troubleshooting here, bro. I'm getting sick of it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the Biosound Theater. I hope it has all the goodies we all want out of it.
It's not gonna be without the hitch or glitches.
No, but I'm used to
That's
that by now. For crying out loud!
been around B&O for a long time.
I mean, the thing is, if it launches in like October or whatever, and if I were to buy it, by the time I would actually use it, which is like February, March somewhere in the US, it's probably fixed.
Yeah, it would be. There's been no software updates for the 50s or 90s, have they?
Not in a while, no.
No, it was the Halo that updated so it can do the 50s and 90s control. Yeah, nothing to do with the 90s or 50s.
The last update for 50s and 90s, like I think 9 months-ish ago, something
yeah,
like that.
It's almost a year old. Yeah, I think that they're done with it. Like they got them figured out now. Like,
I'm not sure they're entirely done with it yet, because I think there's still some things outstanding, like USB volume control or something like that, where I've seen some 90s owners say that we've been promised this for like fucking years now and it's still not there.
Why would you use? I guess I understand the USB because then you can do 196 24-bit files, right?
Yeah, or you can have a root nucleus and output over USB, and then have the root nucleus in the app with whatever
control it.
Yeah, but apparently I'm not sure if this is in the last update because I don't use it, but it was oddly specific for specific inputs that I also don't use. So as for me, they're fine as is, so I don't really care.
Well, and you can't really buy those as studio monitors because the delay is just not, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So Lab 5s were the last monitor speakers. That's it.
Yeah, well, they're still good speakers.
I like them. I like them now. I used to love them. I love 90s now. But then, it's... I mean, the tech is also like it's old, right? But in the same token, like if you compare it to what it was back in 2003 when it came out, like, there was nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it.
I mean, if the the Biosound Theater is, I kind of hope it's a misnomer and not a Biosound, but more like a Bio Center, like a sound center. And then I'm sort of like, I hope it has more than 3 or 2 power links because I have all the fucking power links used in this one.
I think it would have at least 4. I would hope, based on what I've seen on the thing. Because I just hope that they didn't put like 2 useless networks in there. I understand why they would do, because then you can just patch the network to the flipping TV. But if you're running all these cables, like, why not just have a separate line going to the television itself, be on its own plug in the switch? They'll still be on the same household, basically talking to one another. It wouldn't be any different.
Yeah,
you can free up ports. But yeah, that's could be a song of the future. I gotta move this over here now. Fuck.
I mean,
you guys can hear the fan?
No, but the reason I partially why I like it as an idea so much is because I said it somewhat as a joke, but I am actually really interested in that massive LG panel. And there's just no way that would work with a Harmony or an Eclipse stand or any of that sort.
No.
And if I have a big enough wall that would fit under, I'll just hide all the shit in the empty cavities that is the US wall system.
Not if it's an outside wall.
Yeah, then I'll build a faux wall in front of it. That's fine too. You won't know the difference anyway.
No, but yeah, you can't do that on the outside walls. But then again, there's ways to do it.
We'll
figure it out once you move. Yeah, we'll figure out once you move.
We have chisels.
Chisels? The fuck are you gonna do? Carve me a freaking statue?
It's Florida. Like, knock on the wall behind you. I bet you it's concrete.
Indeed. Fuck.
In
But I ain't
Florida,
conquered
almost
on the
all
inside.
exterior walls are either cinder block or reinforced concrete.
Yeah, it makes sense why they got these aluminum shutters on the windows here. Because it gets windy and it's not. Is that the
Oh, it
wind is
doesn't get a
blowing?
little
It's
windy. It gets
yeah,
like
it's
120 mile an hour windy.
oh, I know, but it's not that the wind is blowing. Is what the wind is blowing
Yeah.
is the question, right? So
No, I mean, in Florida, you need chisels. Everywhere else, a wood saw would suffice.
we're still gonna do without chisels. I got motorized chisels. We're making ass, whatever the fuck. I'm not chiseling shit. I'm not carving freaking a canoe out of a freaking marble stone here. We're gonna make it work.
But yeah, I mean, I really hope to get that massive LG panel if the living room would suffice for it, and then screw the motion. I mean, I like the motion and that it's hidden, but since the wall behind me has become dark blue, I've left the TV up for a few days just to see how visually it impacts. And with a darker back wall, it's so much less than with a white
It
back
washes
wall.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Of course, it washes it out. Is it 97 inch? Something
yeah.
something? Shiitake mushrooms,
I
bro.
think
That's
it's technically
insane.
96 and a half, but whatever, close enough.
Whatever. That's a massive panel. We're now like almost reaching the territory of BV104.
Yeah, but I keep on, like, I'm not lying when I say, like, whenever I watch just about anything, it's almost always a movie of some kind. I don't watch that much TV, but when I watch something, it's movies, generally.
I don't watch TV at all.
I mean, this is partially why I'm somewhat less bothered with having 50s versus 90s, because on the whole film experience, the difference is a lot less.
Yes, because you run them in wide mode, anyways, right?
Yeah, because it also depends on where I sit. I don't always sit in the same spot. I like this spot here, but I also sit there or I lay there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not when Megan's home.
no, oh no, I'm banned from this spot because she has it.
That's when it goes to narrow mode. How do you like this now, honey?
Yeah. I mean, I got told off for buying a massive TV when I bought it, and then it turns out she uses it most.
Oh, so she just lost the freaking bitching rights on this now completely.
Yeah.
Right on, buddy. Way to work it.
But yeah, I mean, so it's, even when we watch stuff together, it's most often either a show, as in like Netflix or HBO or something like that, or a movie. Like, we hardly ever watch regular TV like that. Yeah, maybe during dinner or something, but like
just a filler, yeah.
Half an hour maybe.
I agree with Sandy, but I had a first look at the aluminum edge on the LG, not a fan. I'm not a fan either. And the problem that I would have with it, let's say you buy this TV now, right? And you get yourself a walnut panels that are bronze, right? The TV ain't going to be bronze. It's going to be aluminum. Because they don't got the same color match, right?
No, but you also can't buy the bronze and the brass anymore for the Eclipse. It's now aluminium and black.
I'm talking harmony.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
That's going to be affected, right?
Yeah.
So how are they going to compensate for that color mismatch? Like, are they going to just do, is B&O going to send aluminum trims to LG to put them on to the panels?
No,
or is it going to be a retrofit kit?
Leave it as is.
Or is it going to be a retrofit kit that you can just take apart the panel and switch the edges? Depends on how intricate they are. Hopefully,
they maybe will do that for the 88-inch when you're spending like 45 grand on a TV.
Yeah.
Vlad says hopefully the next LG gen is gonna be black as before. I doubt it, because generally with design changes they stick to the same design change for 2 generations.
Yeah.
So the G and C3 are probably going to look exactly the same. Maybe
That
thinner, maybe
sucks.
slighter, but you're going to have the same design language.
Yeah. Hmm. Then
So
again, like if you're not a nutter and you really like don't care to have the latest and the greatest, like I don't see anything wrong with even the older panel for what it is.
oh no, other than you can't get a 97-inch in the older panels.
Well, yeah, but then again, like for your scenario, if you're talking 97 inch, you're not putting it on a harmony, so then
No,
it does not affect you whatsoever in
and
any
I
way, shape, or
personally also don't care that it's separated in that point. At that point, it's sort of like
form.
whatever.
Well, that's what the back to the BeoVision 4 and a 7 and a 7.1 or 7.2 or 7.6 channels, center
Mhm.
channels, right? Where they were offset by the depth of the link eye that would be seated right in between the TV and the speaker. That's what usually was that's what the proper BO theater was supposed to be back then installed, based on the B&O's requirement drawings for the stores and for the clients, I guess, on how to do it. But I'm sure all the installers that had read the mastering handbook at least once would know, because it's all there. Everything, everything you ever need to know is in that book. All 157 pages of it.
Uh, yeah, no, I just mean that size TV. I bet you people will think it's crazy, and in like 2-3 years, it'll be just another one in the lineup.
Yeah, but
Because if it's going to sound so stupid if you have a 55 or smaller inch TV still, but I came from a 55-inch Eclipse, and the 77-inch Harmony
no, you
was
came
sort of
from BeoVision 1046, brother. So
before
forget
that,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
From 1046, I went to Eclipse 55, and from 55 to 77, which was in terms of screen real estate, a 96% increase.
But at least you did it gradually, because if you just rolled in with the 77, Megan would twist your head off the neck.
Probably, but I mean, it took 10 days to 2 weeks, and we thought it was normal size. That's what she said. But
But then again, it's the same thing. Like I'm dying over here, but in a few weeks, I'll be fine.
yeah.
You just get used to it. Humans are incredibly adaptable species. So
So it's I don't know. It's plus we don't sit exactly on top of it. We sit some distance away, and in the US, we'll probably sit even a bit further
further,
away. Yeah.
well, you have more real estate. Yeah, houses are bigger here. It's not Europe anymore.
But
Everything.
yeah, I mean, I, I I I feel sometimes even watching movies, especially the ones that are the 21:9, that's like I could do with a bigger panel.
Are you gonna get a projector?
I
Just go
don't want
120.
to. I don't like projectors that much. You always have this sort of
It's grayish, white
yeah, sort of
wash.
grayish wash over it, and even with the best sort of projector
It don't cut
screens,
the mustard. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've
I mean,
done few
and then
projectors in my life, and in a very good lit rooms like what you have right now, forget about it.
I mean,
You'd
the
have to live
short
like a
throws
hobbit.
are a bit better, but then they get weird artifacts. But they're also ridiculously expensive.
Yes.
I mean, the 4K Sony short throws are still like 20 grand or something, and that's before you even have the screen and stuff
Screen.
up. Yeah,
That's right. And if you want a motorized screen, I honestly wonder how much did those guys spend on that job that I did. It was 127 inch screen. It it made lap fives look like lap fours. And I told him that, and then because I serviced one of the speakers because the chassis blew, and I said I don't want to be the bearer of the bad news, but if the one went, likelihood of the other one going soon is very high.
yeah.
3 months later, the fucking second one went tits up, and they called me up. It's like, yeah, the second speaker's down, and we're thinking like we just don't want to repair it. and then I lost the deal to the 90s. If had I known, oh my god, that they were going at that, because it's the Vancouver shop that fucked up the whole deal, because he was just oodling and noodling and just undecisive, and Chinese can't make a deal. That's basically what it is, and they just wouldn't, like, why don't you just give them 5% off and sell the fucking speakers? Okay, you didn't make 5%, but you had moved the products a bit, and you made whatever margin less those 5%. That's a GST. That's a tax.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it, and then they said fuck it, and they found the Lab 90s in Saskatchewan, and they bought them for freaking $52,000 Canadian, and I was sad. And I strongly believe to this day that those speakers are my old Lab 90s that went back to the URI list, and they bought them once they got fixed.
Could check it via the serial numbers if you still have it.
I didn't take the serial numbers when I was there, but I should have, just to look, because I would have known right away. But they look like mine.
In Florida, there's a lot of mid-century modern houses, and like they all more or less look like this on the living room, or from the inside out, which is like, I like that. Massive panel, great. Yes.
That's insane. Yeah, that would be a nice.
The 50s are large, but not too large in a space like that. Maybe eventually I'll get 90s or whatever.
90s would block a fair bit of that view. But surely, if you want to look outside, go outside. Fuck.
Yeah, except in summer when it's so hot that you need a towel.
I specifically brought this because I have learned when I was in Dominican that, yeah, it rains from the sky, but it also rains from my forehead a lot.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Kansas, I was getting gas. I got out and it was 100 Fahrenheit, which is 38 degrees. And I got out and it's literally like having a flame torch in your face, right? Because like you get out of the fridge because it's like 23 degrees in the car, right? I was like, I bet you this gas is gonna be warm.
But that's not even peak temperatures. Like in the Midwest, it can get 110.
That's disgusting.
I mean, that's like 42, 44-ish.
That's hard to survive.
Like Wisconsin and Illinois get a few days a year generally where it's like 105 to 110 somewhere.
Wow.
But then in winter, it's like minus fucking 40.
Oh, it does go that stupid in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have pictures from my girlfriend walking where her what you call it, the hiking boots that you have for like going up and down mountains and stuff, where the rubber that holds the lace holes in, where that frozen solid, and she walked and just that bending cracked the lace holes off the shoes because she had to walk outside for like 5 minutes.
That would be more or less like I would equate that to Fort McMurray cold.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that when I was there. I was building a strip mall back in the day. And they flew my ass out there. And I get in, and I get picked up from the airport, I go to the job site, and it was minus 43 without the wind. And it was so freaking cold. Like we walked outside, you gotta inspect the whole metal structure and stuff, where everything is in measurements and shit. And we walked for about 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, can I borrow your screwdriver? He pulled the screwdriver from his chest pocket, and I just took it and go ding on the wall, and it fucking broke in half. I'm like, see, that's where I call it quits.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you guys build it crooked. I'll sign off whatever I'm gonna sign off. I ain't walking a fucking meter further. Walk back into the Atco trailer, and then Buddy had binoculars, which was hilarious. So with binoculars, I looked through the rest of the site, and I just signed off on it and fucked off.
Yeah.
It's still standing to this day, so they did it right. But
in Minneapolis, it gets so cold that downtown Minneapolis, between the buildings, you have these air bridges where you literally, they built them so you don't have to go outside to go from building to building.
Calgary is the same. We call it the plus 15 because it's 15 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
It's basically on the second floor, and about 90% of the buildings in Calgary are interconnected, so you never have to leave.
I mean,
outside.
Chicago, if you deep in winter, like December or whatever, if it's actually cold, you can't stay outside more than 20 minutes, even if you're wrapped up in stuff.
No,
because you'll just get frostbite.
Yeah, it's disgusting cold. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping to put that behind me completely, because 23 years of 41 years of freezing my ballsack off every winter is enough. I want to live the rest of my life, or the other half of my life, in somewhere nice.
They can relax now. Now they can touch your knees again.
Well, the thing is, like, even if it rains here, it's still like 25 degrees outside. It's not like when it rains in Calgary, it goes from 35 to 8.
Yeah.
Like, it just drops, cools, and another thing is that what they don't get here is hail. I left, and my mom sent me a picture from my sister's house on Wednesday. I left Tuesday, and they had hail size this big, like literally golf balls.
Yeah,
that's massive damage, man.
You won't have that in Florida.
No.
Nick says you put a poster behind you, still Calgary.
That's right.
Nick, you should come visit us once we're there, or just visit Willie.
No, he's coming for sure.
Sweet. But don't come in summer. It's too hot.
No. I know. Did you guys like my green screen? Look, I made it all the way. I made it so it goes all the way around. Oh, it's fucking hot here.
But by the way,
what's great to me?
Yeah.
Go ahead. It reminds me of like the whole, like the road system here, right? Because there's no curbs, and like I understand why, because there's the torrential downpour everywhere.
Yeah, and everything's square.
And everything's square, but like the roads are so narrow in between. Like I didn't know. I'm in a fucking neighborhood. Like what is that? Because like Canada is like everything's spaced out. You got nice curbs and stuff, right?
Mm.
It's not like that here. And I also find that America is much dirtier. Like on the roads, like I've never seen so much trash on a highway than I saw when I was driving here. Like you don't see that. Like if a cop sees you flicking shit out the window, it's $1,000 ticket in Canada, especially for cigarettes.
I get that, but there aren't that many cops in the US.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's a police state. I think we're more police state now than US is.
Yeah, of course. But like, how many cops have you seen on that trip there?
7.
Yeah, that's not a lot in 5,000 kilometers.
That's fuck all.
Yeah. There's not that many police officers in the US. Everybody thinks it, but it's not true.
What I've driven around yesterday at night, and there's a lot of cops in the city.
Yeah, well,
as soon as you
where
go,
the people are.
Right, but like speaking of highways and stuff, the likelihood of you getting screwed over by a cop speeding ticket or whatever is within first 15 to 20 kilometers into the town and out of the town or city.
Yeah, because it's dangerous, because that's where people are.
That's right, but then further down is just there's nothing. And I'm thinking like, okay, so I've been driving for a fucking hour, right? Say something happens, like that accident happened. Like, where the fuck are the cops? Like, or not even the cops, because cops, like, they kind of lay low somewhere, whatever. But like the emergency services, how long does it take for them to get there?
In Miami, about 23 minutes on average. If you're in the Midwest rural area, up to 45.
Fuck.
I mean, this is partially why you have guns, because if you call the police, it could be an hour.
Yeah, but you can shoot the guy alive if he's dying or some, you get a heart attack, you gotta wait for 45 minutes. Like, how many aspirins are you going to give the dude? Lord be with you.
But this is why culture is different, right? Like,
yeah.
in Europe or probably in Canada, it's just not normal that anybody is that far away from you at any point.
No.
And there's swaths of America where, like, Montana where you were, like you probably saw a house and then drove for like an hour and then saw the next house at points.
Dude, I honestly believe that the car, like, it's not supernatural, fucking crazy, but I honestly believe that whatever happened with the gas tank was just to make me buy a fucking jerry can or a spare gas tank. Because I did buy it in the Great Falls. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to Great Falls. So at the border, I'm at Coots. I bought the freaking gas tank. I filled it up, and then I took off the next morning from Montana. I filled up the gas tank and I filled up the jerry can, and I would have ran out of the gas, man. Like I literally had to pull over on the side of the road and fill up the fucking thing because I wouldn't have made it to the next location. It was that far.
Yeah, in the US, that's not that. I've had here where like the light comes on and it's like the light blinks from like, and you just pass a gas station in like Germany or something, and then it says like a next gas station in like 20 kilometers or something, and you're like,
you can still make it.
But in the US, it's like the light comes on, you miss it, and next gas station like 50 miles, which is like 80 kilometers, which is like,
fucked.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, you're pushing the car back 20 clicks.
Yes.
Or walking back 20 clicks and then back 20 clicks with the jerry ass can.
Yeah,
no, that's
people don't know.
Well, for Europeans, it's hard to imagine the distances. Like, you know, if you've never been to America, you cannot fathom that. And I couldn't fathom that till I moved here, where, you know, we go to the movie theater. It was the first movie that I went to see was Saving Private Ryan, and we left an hour before the movie. We're just like, what the fuck are we gonna do there? And we barely made it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's when I understood, like, wow, this is a fucking huge space. This is a large country.
Fortunately, in Miami, nothing is far away.
No.
I mean, especially if you're somewhat central, and between an hour radius, you can do just about everything.
Yeah.
By the way, how are you for tomorrow? I take it you have to do stuff tomorrow.
I have to do stuff tomorrow, but I'll take all my equipment with me, and wherever I land, I'll try to come up on for the noon or 2 o'clock here, I guess, because it's not as bad if it's at 2 o'clock, because then I have way more hours. Plus, I get up way early because they're 2 hours ahead here, right? So for you know, for me to sleep into 8 o'clock this time, or if I sleep until 8 in Calgary, I'd be waking up here at 10, right? Which it doesn't. Like I was up at fucking 6 in the morning today.
Yeah, it's 2 p.m. there.
2 p.m. Yep.
Well, but I'm just saying, if you can't make it, then we'll skip a day, and people will just have to cope with that.
That's right. But I'll let you know tomorrow how it goes, because I definitely want to hit up the B&O store, and I need to, you know,
listen to
go
90s.
Listen to the 90s. I want to get to the DMV to figure out the license deal. I need to go to the bank, so I need to set up that, and I want to also find out if there is an IRS here that I can go and talk to somebody there regarding it, and regarding the EIN number, because I've applied for one, and buddy here that I was talking to, he was waiting for his for 8 fucking months. So I might just do a little bit more digging, because there are certain states that will give you the EIN number directly with the application for business, which Florida doesn't. So I might have to open another fucking business somewhere else to get an EIN number, so then I can function.
Well, at least it doesn't cost a few grand, fortunately.
No, it's a few $100, but it's insane how much people pay with cash here comparatively to Canada.
No, it's great. I love it.
I like it too, but I was very shocked. Very, very shocked. How much?
You don't need to track everything.
Well, we do in Canada everything, man. We got to track everything. We got to fucking.
Oh no, I totally changed my habits in America. Like cash in your pocket, and that's all you do.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's call her.
Anyway, I hope everybody liked the show, and if not, then tell us how we can improve, or what we should or shouldn't talk about.
Constructive criticism is always welcome.
I'll keep people updated about tomorrow. We'll see as we go, because all these bank and that sort of stuff will always take longer than expected.
But I got 2 weeks over here, so tomorrow if I just go, no worries, doctor, glad to help. If I'm gonna make a couple things tomorrow happen, and then by 2 o'clock, hopefully, I'll find some nice spot on Miami Beach and broadcast from there if I can.
Alrighty. So if that all works out, then we'll see you guys tomorrow on Twitch, and if not, then
Then you're not
well, we
serious.
won't be. Maybe I'll do something, but I also have shit to do actually. So, but I can.
We'll play it by the ear.
Yeah.
as they say.
So like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Helps us out a lot, and it's free. And
Thanks for watching.
see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Out from Miami.